Hello, Wankers.
What's up, Vankahs?
Hello, Vankahs. Round 1 done, baby. Australia done. Dusted.
So what we know now?
We know that you were right, Guenther. Lando Norris is going to win this championship. That's what we know, I think.
Did he say that? Or did he say
No,
one
no,
of the
no,
two
no. What
McLarens?
I
You
said
said one of the two
McLaren.
McLarens. You
Yeah.
went out on a limb and you said 50-50. One of the
It
McLarens
is
was going to win.
50-50. It is 50-50. Nothing happened yet, but I was right with McLaren.
Yeah, well, that is something that we know for sure coming out of this week, but there is so much that happened this week that we're going to cover. We got so much coming at you this episode. We got struggles at Ferrari, Lewis having tensions with his Italian engineer. Guenther, you're going to need to give this Italian engineer some advice, dude. He doesn't understand. You're the perfect man for that job. We got the Isack Hadjar situation. We've got Helmut Marko sounding off in the comments. We've got rumors about the Concord Agreement. We've got so much coming to you for this episode of Vankah Hours with Guenther Steiner, brought to you by BetMGM. Fellas, should we get this thing going?
Yeah.
It's better because you've got so much to talk about, and if you keep on waffling on,
All right. Cue the music.
No fuck smash, my dog. I'm done the fucking Steiner and I'm back for more. No fuck smash, my dog. I'm done the fucking Steiner and it's time for Vankah Hours, baby. Vankah Hours, baby. Vankah Hours, baby. Vankah Hours, baby.
All right. Fellas, Guenther, where should we start? This was a very eventful week.
Where should we start? I think we start what we predicted and where we are at after the first race.
Mm-hmm.
I think what we got right was McLaren being pretty dominant as a car.
Yeah.
What I would say, we can say that Ferrari was underperforming. I was thinking they will be closer to McLaren. They are clearly not very close to McLaren in the moment. Out of the 4 strong teams, they are number 4. Red Bull, Mercedes. I think they did better than I anticipated, but Ferrari was struggling a little bit this weekend. And I think they are asking themselves, why are we struggling? They anticipated more. Could it be Australia? Could it be in general that they didn't find as much as performance over the winter as they were hoping to, as they hoped to have after the Bahrain test? Because after the Bahrain test, they were pretty upbeat about it, where they are, and they showed also good. But when it came to qualifying at the race, I think they were a little bit off,
So can you talk us through the change from, because it seems like there's been a bit of a shift, because after testing, everyone was like, steak is garbage. And then something happens, and now steak is better than Ferrari. And then, first of all, how does Ferrari feel that they got out-strategized by the guy they fired for lack of strategy? And then, so they must be feeling pretty silly. But so what shifts between testing and the first race? Is it you think it's a development thing that they screwed up over the winter? Or do you think it's just a setup thing and Ferrari will be fine? What do you think is the scope of it?
I think with Ferrari, I think the development over the winter was not as good as they wanted to be, or as they thought it will be. Setup thing, with the setup thing, with the setup thing, you lose half a tenth, but these guys are not dumb. They didn't unlearn how to set up a car. So I think that will be marginal. You can do better always, but what happened at stake, they brought some different parts to the car for Melbourne than they had on the test, and they knew that. Obviously, stake in the moment they're in front of Ferrari. That will be very difficult to hold. Matt, I would put some money on that one, that will not last, But they did a good job, and they came back stronger than the test. But with Ferrari, it's just a combination of things. It's just like they didn't do what they anticipated to have done. they actually thought they have done it. It's not like they said in Bahrain, we are not where we are. In Bahrain, they were upbeat. And I was in the same opinion. But if you saw on Saturday, to get to Q3, McLaren was in the Q1, Q2, they were not really, I mean, they were fast, but they were not like thick. But then Q3 comes, boom, they're gone.
Yeah. I mean, you said at the start you think that McLaren's ahead a little bit. How much is that little bit? Because George Russell was in the press saying that McLaren could stop developing their 2025 car right now, move right on to 2026 because they're so far ahead.
I think that would be a dangerous thing to do. I think they will develop a few months more, but I'm sure. I mean, I don't think you have to hear that from George Russell. You can get to yourself to know that they're ahead, so they can be the first ones to shift to 26. But they are ahead in the moment. But then we always have to think that when was it last year? McLaren in the beginning was not really there, and then they did development, and then they catched up.
Right.
Very, very seldom this happens, but it can happen. So they need to be careful about that one as well. And again, they didn't take this win easy because Max was on his tail going over the finish line. So I wouldn't play it too much down that now it's all done. They're very good, but I think the other ones can catch up as well. Like Mercedes' performance, I was surprised, positively surprised.
But Guenther, if it wasn't for that safety car, I mean, that first stint, Lando and Oscar were like 15 seconds ahead of Max. It was only because of that one of the safety cars that they even got bunched up again. I mean, that was like a Mercedes 2016, just those two cars are right in front kind of gap, no?
Yeah, you're right there. But then afterwards he could follow Max. So it still leaves, obviously they are the fastest car and you can see it in qualifying. I think they were 3/10 faster than Max. That's big distance.
Yeah.
But
how tense is the vibe at Ferrari after a performance like this? I mean, they came in with so much hype. Yeah, you got Lewis Hamilton, you're paying him ungodly amounts of money. And then to have a performance like this that is it was bad on so many fronts. They didn't have pace. Both drivers were fighting with their engineers. There seems to be some friction there, especially with Lewis getting used to the new team, getting used to the new dynamic there. And then they botched the strategy in such a way that whatever gains they had made are all taken away. I mean, on every front, it feels like Ferrari dropped the ball.
I think they dropped the ball on this weekend, as you said. But the hype about Lewis coming, I think, took over. Everything was just hyped up. And then reality hits. We actually have to go racing. And then everybody forgot about that one. Everybody was living in this world. Everything is cool. The test was good. Lewis is coming. We are ready to go. And then reality hits that F1 is still very difficult. Lewis, after 12 years with one engineer, an Englishman, now changing to Ferrari, thinking that everything goes smooth in race one. It's a little bit difficult to say. And I think what Lewis has to understand also, every team has got this culture, how they do things. And even if you're a 7-time world champion, and you will not change the culture at Ferrari. He needs to adapt. And I know Riccardo Adami pretty well from the times at Toro Rosso, more than 20 years ago. He's a very good race engineer, very experienced. He doesn't need to be afraid to race engineer Lewis Hamilton. They need to find each other, the comfort level where they are. But as a professional, he can race engineer any driver, Riccardo, So it's not like that he doesn't know what he's doing. He knows what he's doing, that guy,
So what do you make of that back and forth between the two of them? Because it seemed pretty tense. Kept telling him, switch to this mode, K, switch to K.
K1.
What is, Matt was saying this. What is K1, Guenther? Can you explain what K1 is?
K1, I think, I'm pretty sure, is when it's like you can get some more power from the electric motor. You discharge the battery quicker, because if you use K1, you then have to go the lap after to charge the battery. So you can, but you get a moment of, it's like what you push to pass.
Push to pass. Right.
Push to pass. So, but you need to be close. You push it, and you get that little bit more torque, power, whatever you want to call it, to go by when you need it. because you discharge the battery quicker, and then obviously afterwards you need to charge the battery again, which is a different mode you need to go in it, and you don't have this much power available anymore because it's all regulated, this stuff. So that's what it is, and maybe Lewis, the equivalent to K1 in Mercedes was not like the Ferrari one, and he didn't really know how it was, and he was saying, I'm not close enough. I think Lewis was thinking he's in a Mercedes, and I don't know the difference between the two of them. I'm not a driver, so.
Right.
But I think he said, I'm not close enough. I need to get closer. That if I use it, I actually gain something. It's not like if I use K1 too far away, what you do is you get close to it, but then you don't have enough left to go past.
But he said to use it just for practice, which sort of suggested okay, you might not be close enough, you might not get past, but
you get the feel of it. Yeah.
Right. Which maybe I'm projecting, but maybe he's like, I'm a fucking 7-time world champion. I don't need to be practicing engine modes in a race. But maybe we're reading too much into it. But I was sensing some tension. Now, you are famously an Italian man. What does this Englishman need to know about Italians to get on better at Ferrari?
No, I think, as I said before, if Lewis wants to change the culture at Ferrari or in Italy, good luck with that one, because it's not going to happen. Culture develops over years and years. It's the same if somebody goes to Mercedes, it wants to change the culture of that team. It's not going to happen. When you come in as a team member into a team, you need to adapt the culture of them, not them of you. You can tell them what you know, how you would technical stuff, but not saying, I want this to be like this because I always did it like this. It's like, I think that will not work.
Right, but not to bring up some not to do some anti-Italian discrimination, Guenther. But in the Michael Schumacher days,
you better don't.
In the Michael Schumacher days, they brought in a Frenchman. They brought in Braun. They actually just got all the Italians out of the top positions, right?
Yeah, but now in the moment, a Frenchman is running it. If you haven't forgotten,
right.
I'm not saying it's about Italians. It's a culture of a team, and that culture was developed by these people like Michael, like Jean Todt, like Ross Brawn. It's a culture. I don't think it is the Italian culture. It's the Ferrari culture. What I'm saying is not the Italian people culture because it's a race team.
But
I
guess my question is much like when Niki Lauda came into Ferrari and told, this famous story when he told Enzo, this car is shit. It's shit. And then he said, everyone was like, oh, but it's a Ferrari. And he goes, I don't care if it's a Ferrari. The car is shit. I mean, isn't there some credence to an outsider coming in saying, we got to do things differently because the way that you're doing them right now isn't cutting it?
First of all, we go back a long time, and we go back to one of the greatest to tell you something is shit, which was Niki Lauda, or the greatest guy. Yeah, exactly.
Lewis Hamilton's one of the
Lewis
greatest.
Hamilton's, I mean, these.
He's one of the greatest race car drivers. But the times have changed. I mean, there is now thousands of people. At the time, there was hundreds of people. And who did Niki Lauda go? To the guy called Ferrari, to the guy which had the name on top of the company. So you can say it, but now it's a company. It's at the time, if you convinced one guy to change everything, even Fred cannot go in there and change the culture of the team, because it is there. It's like you cannot go in somewhere and change a culture. You can, but it will take you too long. It's much easier if you adapt to a culture and get the best out. And adapting to a culture doesn't mean to tell them what you think works, but not the way how they are working. I mean, because people will not just react this quick.
Vankahs, this episode is brought to you by BetMGM. The season is about to start, and there are a bunch of picks that you can make. Make your 2025 season predictions. Put some money on it with BetMGM, and come see what's new at BetMGM. You can score bigger when you win with boost tokens, odd boost tokens, and more. Even if your bet doesn't hit, we've got you covered with no sweat tokens. Sign up with BetMGM today, and you'll have access to countless betting options, including new look, same game parlays, teasers, live bets, and so much more. Take advantage of these offerings and be sure to use the bonus code DADDY when signing up to receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your first bet loses. Baby, I'm putting my money on Lando Norris to win this championship, baby. And if you got Lewis Hamilton, whoever you think is going to win the championship, you can make that bet right now on BetMGM. Go over there and use the bonus code DADDY when signing up, because they'll know that we sent you, and you can receive, again, up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your first bet loses. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 and over. U.S. promotional offers not available in New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY for New York. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP for Arizona. 1-800-327-5050 for Massachusetts. 1-800-BETS-OFF for Indiana. 1-800-981-0023 for Puerto Rico. First bet offer for new customers only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Don't forget, if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code DADDY and get your $1,500 first bet offer today. All right, let's switch gears. Let's switch gears to the McLaren. Obviously dominant. They're looking really strong. But then, Lando comes out with this win. Oscar, slides off the track, finishes with 2 points. As Matt and I are seeing it, maybe there's a world where the other teams catch up and Max Verstappen's really in this title fight. But if McLaren stays strong and continue to develop as we have seen them in the past, they're the best in-season development team in the last few years, and they're starting out finally at the front of the field. If it's a 2-horse race of Lando and Oscar, what does this race in Australia do to that dynamic?
I don't think he's doing anything. I think Zach Brown, the team, they will let them race in the beginning, especially if you got a car like this. You let the drivers race. And before Oscar went off and lost the time sitting in the grass, spinning wheels, right. He was very close to him. And I think he would have taken the fight to him. They both messed up that turn. Both went off. Obviously, Oscar got stuck. The other one didn't, So, but I think they let them race for a while. It's no problem, and especially because they are in the moment the best car. So in the moment they don't have to be worried about who is coming. They still need to find out. So I think we have got a lot of racing in front of us between the two of them.
Do you think we're going into a Mercedes situation where it's those two out in front? And B, if so, are we looking at a Rosberg Hamilton, or are we looking at a Hamilton Bottas? Like, which one do you think we're going to get this year, if that's the case?
I think we're looking at Rosberg Hamilton, that they both fight for the championship. That is what I think, because it's very clear that they let them race. Will it be like the Mercedes domination? In the moment, yes, it looks like. I mean, we have to be open about it. But in the last years, something changed over the years sometimes, So maybe McLaren takes the foot off the gas because they feel comfortable with the development, not the drivers, and they fall back and somebody catches up, because I'm sure Ferrari will put a lot of effort in to get it right now. And if they hit something, if they get it right, they could be challenging them. Mercedes is, in my opinion, stronger than that I anticipated they are. And obviously, Red Bull has got always the Max Verstappen factor, which we cannot underestimate.
All right, we'll get to Mercedes in a second. You said that they're going to let them race, but there was a moment in this race that's being talked about where they said, hold on, don't race right now. And it was kind of right as Oscar was getting into Lando's DRS, where he was kind of sniffing his tail. What do you make of that whole situation? They're passing back markers, but what are your thoughts on the temporary, ceasefire that happened between the two of them?
It was very, I was there, and the weather was very unstable. And I think they just said, keep position, because everybody anticipated that it dries out at that point. So they said, do not do anything stupid, because if you went off the dry line to overtake into the wet, it could have been a disaster. And I think that call was very good. Say, just keep position for now. We go on to dry tires, and when the track is dry, you can fight again. But that never happened, so nobody could see that. But it was like, I think that was the call. Do not do anything stupid while the track is 50-50, because as soon as you were off the driving line, off the ID line, you were on water. And it was getting very slippery. The intermediates, they were worn out, so they didn't do a lot with the water anymore. So I think they were just very cautious about it. So I wouldn't read too much into that one for team orders.
It's becoming such a litmus test because, big Lando fans are like, wow, he did it. He won a tough race. Lando haters are like, and Oscar fans are like, well, the team orders, that was right when he was close and they robbed him. And In terms of Lando, was this a statement win, or are you still a Lando? Well, you've never been a Lando doubter. Are you a little bit agnostic? Did he do enough for you to be like, this guy's the guy? This is the guy?
I don't think he's the guy yet, because the other one is good as well. For me, he is a guy. He's good. I always say that
he is a human guy. Yes, that is true. But is he? But is he the guy?
Thanks for letting me know that one. Wow.
Is he the guy?
Not yet, because the other one is also the guy. This Oscar Piastri guy.
But here's the thing, Guenther, if one of them goes out ahead and dominates this championship, then straddling the fence is also wrong. So, there's lots of ways of being wrong here,
He will not be going out and win this championship without having Oscar Piastri fighting for it. That is not going to happen.
You think it's going to be a close one? You think it's going to be
very close? Very close.
I think it comes down to the last race. Abu Dhabi, they're coming down to Abu Dhabi.
And they will run into each other, and then the race director will make a wrong call, and the guy which should win doesn't win, and then then everybody gets sacked, and drama maximum.
And then we do and then everyone joins this podcast, and there's 45 hosts. That's what's going.
What do you think? What do you think? Going back a little bit, what do you think Zach Brown's incentive was to throw all this money at Oscar Piastri before he saw how he was going to shake out this year? Because it's a big year for him. Why do you think he waited? Why didn't he wait to be like, well, let's see how you do against Lando this year?
Because I think if he did, first of all, he believes in him like he believed in Lando. We need to give credit to Zach, because he picked up drivers out of F2, both of them very good, and he didn't wait because it will not get easier for Zach or cheaper if he waits, because somebody will want to pick up Oscar Piastri of the other teams, or one of the other teams. So I said, I'm happy with this team. They work well together. Let's get it done. Let's get over it and focus on going forward. Because this year, they've got a good car. But 2026, maybe we don't. We don't know. Nobody knows. Not even you might know 2026, because normally you know everything. But 2026, not even you know. So in the end, I bring this home, done and dusted. I can move forward.
There were rumors that maybe Red Bull was sniffing around the Piastri camp. Was there a sense of, were there teams that were actually interested and maybe starting to have discussions with Oscar's team?
I'm pretty sure all the good teams which have a seat next year available, and Red Bull is one of them, obviously with the connection with Mark Webber. Mark drove a long time for Red Bull, so they have good relationships. They were for sure sniffing around. I'm sure about that one.
So obviously your logic is pretty much flawless about throwing more money at Oscar. I agree. I think Oscar should get all the money in the world. But
Thank you.
I guess from a management, I want to ask you a question from a management perspective. Is giving Oscar allegedly maybe as much or more money as Lando, does that cause problems in the locker room?
It shouldn't.
I'm Lando Norris, I'm like, he's making more money than I am?
And he's here longer than I am. He's here till 2028. I'm only here till 2027. Is there not at all maybe
But you live by your choices. At the time when he signed the contract, Lando was happy. Otherwise, he chose to sign. He didn't have to. It's always in life. Sometimes you have to get over with it. If somebody gets a better deal than you, what's wrong? Change manager, do whatever you want. But and times move on. And everything gets more expensive. And now Lando, for sure, is motivated to win the championship. So his next contract, he will get more than Oscar. It's not always everybody. We are not living the perfect socialism in F1. That everybody gets the same. Everybody's rated the same.
All right, Guenther. So you're saying if we do a podcast with Otmar, and we get him more money, you'll feel fine about that?
I'm fine about that.
Yeah, I don't care.
I don't believe you.
Good luck with that one.
Guenther's a bit good. And let's remember that Guenther is a billionaire. That's what we all know. Okay, let's move over.
Wish.
Let's chat Mercedes. You were impressed with Mercedes in this race. Tell us why.
Because I didn't expected them to be this strong. They qualified fourth. I thought they will be further behind. And then they finished third and fourth. And guess what? Nobody noticed. True,
What kind of Delulu land are we in? They finished behind their customer team.
Yeah, but
Why
they
is
finished
this-
behind their customer team last year, so there's nothing new there. Huh? So
I mean, they're throwing a party that they got one guy in third place. I mean, I think it's still kind of lame, personally.
yeah, it isn't what I mean. If you speak with Toto, for sure he's not happy about it,
Right.
But how it looked after Bahrain, for me, after Bahrain, they didn't look like that they can get on the podium. And as I said, I think they finished on the podium, but really nobody. I mean, how many times did you see the Mercedes on TV? I mean, you saw a few times Kimi Antonelli when he made that,
Right.
when he moved forward a lot because he did a good job. He was helped by the weather as well and by right decision, right time in the pits and all that stuff. But in the end, he finished fourth, but they were on the podium and actually nobody really noticed until you saw George standing on the podium.
You think that Toto was a little bit happy with the poor performance of Ferrari and his ex, Lewis Hamilton?
I don't think he was
Schadenfreude?
unhappy. I don't think he was unhappy about it. Put it this way.
Okay. That's a very coy way of saying that he was thrilled. That's apparently he was looking at Lewis's times. He was, like checking, like when you're checking your ex's Venmos, who are they sending money to. He was still checking Lewis's times during the race, even when it wasn't particularly, relevant to his driver's races.
But that comes naturally if you had the driver there, because when you see the monitor, your brain is focused so
Right.
much on that. So you get just there. It's normal, It's nothing special. I mean, Toto makes it out as being special. Every human being, if you have got somebody in the team, you look at the same three letters for 12 years, Ham.
Yeah.
And then you change driver. Obviously, what do you? It's like, Ham, it's not my driver. You always have to think.
Right.
But he will get used to it. 3-4 races, he will get completely used that he looks of Ant and not
So
Ham.
you still find your eyes drawn to Hulk or HUL?
I would say last year I did. This year, I think I don't know what I'm looking at,
Right.
'Cause
Well,
some
what
of
makes you get excited? What gets you pumped? Like when Hulkenberg finished, when Hulkenberg got what is to Sauber 1,000 points. Did you not get a little
million.
excited?
A million, yeah.
Did you
I'm
not get a little
happy for
excited?
Hulk. I'm happy for Hulk. Yeah, I'm happy. Excited is a big word. I'm very happy for Hulk.
But aren't you kind of like, that was fucking me? I fucking did that.
No,
He
no,
would.
no.
He.
I have nothing
He'd
to
be
do.
on the couch if it wasn't for you.
That's true, Guenther. You don't want to accept it, but it's true. Nico Hulkenberg would not be on the 2025
He'd
grid
be
for
doing
one
German television
Guenther
right
Steiner.
next to you.
Austrian.
Austrian television.
Austrian. He wouldn't
He'd be
even
doing
make it to
Austrian.
German TV. He
That's
wouldn't
right,
make it
that's
to
right.
German, Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's not give too many flowers to Nico Hulkenberg. Of course, he had a good race, but he was out-qualified by his rookie teammates. Let's chat the rookies. I mean, kind of chaos for a lot of them. Only 2 out of the 6 rookies finished the race. Obviously, Hadjar crashed during the warm-up lap. Doing...
Had a good qualifying though. Had good qualifying.
Had a good qualifying.
He was the best of the rookies, yeah.
But then the worst, the most embarrassing, one of the more embarrassing rookie performances during qualifying, Kimi Antonelli in the wet weather had a great race, winds up in P4. So what's your
and Ollie
takeaways?
Bearman just bad the whole just nightmare.
Oh yeah,
weekend.
yeah. What were your takeaways from the rookies? What stood out to you?
What stood out to me, how Hadjar in qualifying did a very good job for a rookie. What stood out to me is how much Liam Lawson struggled, because he's only half a rookie. Mm-hmm. He was pretty. That was qualifying
what was that
and
you just
race.
said? What was that noise that you made? Okay.
That performance was neither qualifying nor race was something to write home about. And he was in the car before. Bortoleto out-qualifying Nico is pretty cool, because Nico is a good qualifier. I guess Nico didn't have a perfect quali lap, I would say, but still, he out-qualified him. The fact is, he was faster.
Okay, so you're a, would you say you're Gen X? What generation are you?
I'm fucking old. That's what I am.
Okay, so you're fucking old, okay?
Yeah.
So, Martin Brundle, who's also fucking old, had some comments about Hadjar's tears. Helmut Marko, who's also fucking old, who's very,
He's even older than me. He's very old compared him to me. Yeah,
he's
yeah.
very fucking old, said that Hadjar's tears were embarrassing. How do you feel about an 18-year-old kid, messing up and crying?
I'm in the opinion. I mean, everybody shows emotion differently. But I don't know the guy, so I don't want to judge him. If he decides to cry, it's fine with me. I personally think I would be pissed at myself. I would hate myself. I wouldn't cry. I would be pissed, because he did a fantastic job until then, and then he goes. I go out there on the formation lap and mess it up, and it's just like, hey guys, I messed up here, and I will be determined next race in China, only a week, to do a better job. That's what I would do.
You're very enlightened for a fucking old guy.
But as I say, everybody reacts different, and we cannot critique people's emotions. If he wants to cry, fine with me.
Well, that's as enlightened as a.
I would say.
Old guy
I would just say,
be.
as a millennial talking to a fucking, as you quote you, old guy. I don't know if he chose to cry. I don't know if crying is really a choice.
I said the character.
You keep saying if he chooses to cry, that's what he wants to do. I don't think he wanted to be crying. This is just,
like,
I cannot win this, basically. I
Guenther,
feel like I'm talking to my dad. I'm like, my dad, he's like, why you cry? Come on, choose a different emotion. I'm like, oh,
Guenther,
come on, dude.
Guenther, you don't want to shit your pants. It just happens.
It happens that way.
Well, this guy chose to shit his pants. That's what it's.
Yeah, but
it just happens.
That's what I said. Everybody chooses how to express emotions. I didn't say.
That's not what he's saying. He's saying Guenther, you've never been watching a movie. All right, now this is a good one.
When was the last time you cried, Guenther?
When was the last time you cried? There you go.
I don't.
When was the last time you chose to cry, Guenther?
Yeah.
I normally at funerals. I think that gets me emotionally.
Yeah.
Because somebody's gone. But
Right.
the rest, I mean, you try to get over it. It's like
Weddings don't get you when the bride's walking down the aisle.
No.
Picture Greta walking down the aisle.
Right.
You're not
going to cry at Greta's wedding?
I keep an eye on the guy.
If that's what she chooses to do.
I keep an eye on the guy. Don't worry.
okay.
I'm not crying. No.
Okay.
Can you imagine having Guenther Steiner as your father-in-law? That would be intimidating.
Yes.
Given that handshake.
No,
especially
let's
if
go back to racing.
If he chose to cry.
Not the wedding of Greta here. Let's go back to racing. But
right,
again, Helmut Marko, I would not critique Hadjar of crying. He can show his emotion how you want. Fine.
What about calling other rookies B tier?
Correct. I was going to that one.
Yes.
C drivers, B drivers. I don't remember because he classified everybody like machines. This is A, this is B. And by the way, the rookie they put in the car is the worst of all. How about that?
Meaning
Lawson.
Liam Lawson.
Yeah, but because of the rookies, if you take the sum together, qualifying and race, who was the rookie which least impressed? And he had an advantage. And I think Liam is a good driver. He showed that he was good. But in the end, sometimes it's like, give a little bit of time to these people and don't classify people. It's like Liam Lawson has done more races than all the other rookies. He's only half a rookie. And he qualifies, what did he qualify? 18th? 19th?
Yeah,
18th,
17th, 18th, around there.
But
Yeah.
Guenther,
Bad.
In the race, he cannot get past almost a Haas.
Right.
And then he crashes out as well. I mean, Jesus Christ. What more can he do?
But at what point do we have? But at what point?
Cry, Liam, cry. Where are your tears?
Choose to cry. Choose to cry. But at what point, Guenther? After seeing, Pierre Gasly wash out, after seeing Albon, like guys we know are good. Pierre Gasly wash out, Albon wash out, Perez wash out. At what point are we like, it's not, it's just something about this car that, is there anybody that can step in there?
If I would know that one, I mean, it's like, I think when you go in that car, you need to live with knowing that Max is just better than you. I think that's what it is. And that a lot of people cannot live with that one, that they say Max is just better than me. So I said before the race, I think Liam Lawson he cannot try to beat Max because it's almost impossible in the moment. At some stage, he will be beaten by someone, but learn as much as you can from him, get as close as you can, but do not get up in the morning saying, today I'm going to out-qualify or outrace Max Verstappen. It's not going to happen in the moment in this car. It's not going to happen.
So it's impossible to even know where the car is. Like, how good is that car? Do you know? Is it?
I think it's a good car, but it's not a McLaren. It's definitely not a McLaren. But I think Max just gets more out as in the car. Look, as you said, all the drivers. Checo Perez was not a bad driver. Liam Lawson is not a bad driver. I'm not saying that, but I think it is difficult to be teammate of Max Verstappen. But how good the car is.
So you don't blame the car, you just blame him? Blame like having him as a teammate, that psychological, so that it's not
the
really...
pressure, yeah. I think the pressure is they put themselves under pressure. I need to be the guy which beats Max Verstappen. I think it's very similar when Michael Schumacher was at Ferrari. Just go there and do the best you can and enjoy. You still will be good, but you will not be as good as Michael.
I think Eddie Irvine had a lot of fun. I think he enjoyed himself.
Yeah, but Eddie told me I was the best driver, but there was one guy which was better than me. That was Michael Schumacher. So I think because he's very smart, the guy, he realized, actually, if I try to beat him, I'm going nowhere. So as you said, let's have fun, drive a Ferrari, be a Ferrari driver, enjoy the perks, enjoy the money, and get on with it.
And that one season where Michael broke his leg was his only time where he maybe almost got the championship, but he didn't. Okay, wait. We have a new segment of the show. We were talking about choices, right?
Making choices, yeah.
Choosing to shit yourself.
Choosing to shit yourself. Choosing the wrong rookie. Choosing to talk shit about your own driver. These are all choices that we make. We have a new segment. It is called Flat Out or Pump the Brakes. Vankahs, this show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Therapy is something that I believe everyone needs to do in their life. It can feel like a big investment, but the state of your mind is just as important as your physical health. If you're not happy, if you're not healthy in your brain, you can't be happy or healthy in your life. That's just what I believe. Let's talk numbers. Traditional in-person therapy can cost anywhere from $100 to $250 per session, which adds up fast and can stop people from getting into therapy. But with BetterHelp online therapy, you can save an average of 50% per session. I remember I was really intimidated before I had my first therapy session, but once I did it, I was so happy that I did. It was so great to have a space where I could just talk to a neutral party about what was going on with me and really understand why I was feeling the way I was feeling, why I was acting the way I was acting. I understand myself so much better because of therapy. We at Vankah Hours really believe in the power of therapy. With over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 5 million people globally. It's convenient, too. You can join a session with a click of a button, helping you fit therapy into your busy life, plus switch therapists anytime. I love online therapy because traveling to a therapist's office, I actually found was getting in the way. Like when you do it online through BetterHelp, it's finding you in your life as you already are. And your well-being is worth it. So visit BetterHelp.com/VH to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/VH. We are going to be given a statement, and we are going to all have to decide whether we are taking that statement flat out or pumping the brakes on it. So let's get our first statement.
Kimi Antonelli's recovery drive in the wet proves he's the best rookie in 2025.
Guenther, flat out or pump the brakes?
Flat out.
Okay. Go on. You think that's true? You think Antonelli's the cream of the crop?
Yeah, in the moment he's the cream of the crop. I mean, it's always, but what he showed, he had the issues in qualifying, but he made up for it in the race. Nobody expected that, so we have to give him that. Yes, he's the best in the moment, If he's staying the whole year, we don't know, but he's the best. He did the best job there. He was in trouble. He got himself out of it. Nobody else.
Matt, flat out or pump the brakes?
I'm going flat out, but even more flat out than Guenther. I'm out dragging him on that straightaway. And I'm saying he showed, because I think we see, Senna and Monaco in the wet, passing people. It's like the wet is where these guys, when they're young, show their stuff, right? Senna and Monaco, Senna and Portugal. The wet is where these guys reveal their true skills. And I think it was very telling that of all the rookies, he was the one that kept it on the track. And even when he came off, he saved it and it looked pretty fucking cool. All the great ones, when they spin, they even spin cool. So I think he's the best rookie, and the hype is real.
If you put some money into him.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. I'm going to pump the brakes on that. Pump the brakes on Kimi Antonelli. He's a wet weather specialist. That's all well and good, but let's not forget that he ran over the curb, was out in Q1. I'm not buying the hype yet. I think Gabriel Bortoleto beating Nico Hulkenberg in his first race is more impressive than his wet weather drive, and I like his fiery retort towards Helmut Marko. He's got Fernando Alonso as his manager, and Fernando doesn't take someone on unless he's got greatness ahead of him. So I'm going with Gabriel Bortoleto as my best rookie. Okay, next subject.
Yuki Tsunoda's performance proves that Red Bull chose the wrong driver.
Full gas. Very much. I think that's right. What they should have done, in my opinion, obviously they can do whatever they want, but Yuki in the Red Bull and Liam Lawson in the Racing Bulls. Easy solution. And give Liam another year to grow and find out if Yuki can do it or not. Because the chances that Liam will be good at Red Bull were very small with Max there. But Yuki wanted the challenge. He was up for it. Give him the chance. If he doesn't do it, there's the end of the year coming. The Honda contract is coming to an end. I think that was a good opportunity and would have. I think Liam could have grown into a better driver with less pressure in that year. It would have been good for the drivers as well.
I am flat out as well. It's like when you have something in the fridge that's expiring that you're planning on getting rid of, just do something with it, right? Yuki's been there 5 years. He's been burning a hole in their pocket. They don't want him. Might as well throw him to the wolves. See how he does. Liam is a prospect they're actually interested in, and they actually want to grow. Why don't they put him in Visa Cash App and let him develop? It's like they're throwing the prospect they care about to the wolves, and they're letting Yuki continue to develop and grow and feel safe. It doesn't make any sense.
They're avocados, and Yuki's ready to be made into a guac, and Liam's still a little bit hard around the edges. I am going flat out as well. Put Yuki Tsunoda in the seat. I think that Liam's got a bright future in this league, but I think that Yuki Tsunoda is the best person to be giving Red Bull the best chance at maybe getting a Constructors' Championship. The only person that can stick it with Max Verstappen in the Red Bull family is the only Yuki Tsunoda.
You know what else? You know what ultimately comes down to?
What?
You know what ultimately comes down to? I think they're just scared. They're scared. Max is scared. Red Bull's scared.
They're scared of Yuki.
They're scared of Yuki. That's what it is.
What do you think? That's what it is, right, Guenther? That they're scared of Yuki.
If you guys say it, they must be scared of Yuki.
Okay. All right, next.
Yuki is not intimidating,
But he's intimidating on track, dude. That P5 was intimidating.
He's an animal.
Next prompt.
With Lando's win and Oscar finishing 9th, Lando has this championship in the bag.
Jump on the brake here. Just jump on it with 2 feet, 3 feet, whatever. Put the handbrake on, everything. This was one race. They were very close together. They made both the same mistake when they went off track. One got stuck, the other one not. Otherwise, I think we would have seen a race at the end between the two of them. So no, I'm not on into that one. It's not like he has won. He won a race yet. But it will be very tight between them all year long.
I am slamming on the brakes. I'm pulling the e-brake too.
Yeah.
We got I'm pulling the e-brake, and I'm launching a parachute to add extra drag. This is far from over. Lando people said this was Lando's championship to lose last year. Okay. He's not, if anybody can stick with it, it's Oscar. I think, for his, even with his mistake, he showed a lot of grit, a lot of class when he pulled out of the grass. I think that showed that he's got a lot of determination. I don't think he's going anywhere. And I think by China, he's going to be right back in there. And it's a long season. I got a lot of faith that he's going to be in Lando's
mirrors. You got a lot
mirrors.
of faith in my prediction as well. Yeah.
That's right. Well, I'm going against both of you. Flat out, Lando Norris, WTC 2025. Listen, is Oscar Piastri going to win a bunch of races this year? Yes. Will Lando Norris win more? Yes. Will Lando win this championship? And will it go down to Abu Dhabi? Yes and no. He's going to win the championship, and it's going to be done before Abu Dhabi. I'm saying it right now. Next prompt.
No more discussion on that issue.
Jack Doohan's crash and Franco Colapinto waiting in the wings means Jack's days in F1 are numbered.
Jump on the brake here.
Wow.
Yeah, I think in qualifying he did a good job. I learned out there that Jack has never been in an F1 car in the wet. When I heard that one, I was like, wow. Would I like to be starting a race in the wet if I've never done this? No. I don't know. I think that's wrong to get somebody in it. But I think he's under pressure, but they're not numbered yet. If he has got another 2 or 3 like this, yes, they're numbered. But what happened there in qualifying or the whole weekend, he did pretty well compared with Pierre Gasly. Pierre Gasly is good, and he's there at Alpine a long time. In qualifying, he ran into the yellow flag, Lewis Hamilton, which Lewis Hamilton created, and he couldn't get his best lap in. So I would give him a little bit of a lifeline. So I would not say that it's numbered yet.
I am slamming on the gas. I'm slamming on the gas. You don't bring Franco Colapinto. You don't rent Franco Colapinto for millions of dollars, or how much they had to rent him from James Vowles to just keep him on ice. You are looking for a reason to put him in to get that Argentinian moolah, right? You want that punum on your car, in your team. And I don't think he wants doing it in his car long term, and I don't think crashes make Flavio happy unless the crashes were on purpose. So let's just be real. I think his days are numbered.
I am going full gas as well. I think that Jack Doohan's days are numbered. I think that Guenther, you didn't watch Drive to Survive. Flavio Briatore said to Jack Doohan, I control you every millimeter, 100%. I think the ick was gotten by Flavio in that race. I think that, that Colapinto is going to be coming in a few races time. Next prompt.
Haas is the worst team on the grid.
Full gas. They showed. What can you say? Speechless.
Speechless for once in his life.
For once he has no words.
No words. No. I mean, it's pretty clear. After Bahrain, they didn't look strong, but they didn't look like they are in the moment. I mean, they are quite a bit behind Sauber, which is second last.
I'm going full gas. Full gas. They were atrocious. The car was, Ollie Bearman crashed the car. Esteban Ocon, normally pretty quick, was nowhere. The car fell apart before it even got into qualifying. Ollie Bearman had, is going from the shining prospect. His stock is just plummeting. It's a nightmare situation over at Haas.
I am going, pump the brakes, gentlemen. You pump the brakes right now. I think that this steak had a lucky race. I think that they got lucky with that strategy call. I think that Haas is going to listen. Do I think that Haas is good? No, I do not. But do I think that they're the worst team on the grid? No, I do not. I think that they will be battling it out for the worst team on the grid between Steak and Haas all year, and it will come down to the last race, and Haas will barely eke out 1 point over Kick Steak F1 Kick Sauber in the ass. That's what I think is happening. Okay, that's it. It's done. Let's keep chatting about Haas. Guenther, in the last episode, you said that you were most excited about Ollie Bearman as the rookie you were most pumped up about, and then he crashes during practice. What do you make of that performance from the Rook?
Yeah, it was very exciting. I mean, in a negative way.
Yeah,
I was very surprised. I mean, he did before the race 12 laps in 2 days, which is wow. I mean, that is some achievement, you know. I would say a negative one, obviously.
Yeah.
But he crashed in FP1. They couldn't get the car ready for FP2, and then in FP3 he crashed on the first lap or second lap, whatever it was. I think it was his first lap, you know. So. In the race, I think he did what he needed to do. I mean, there was nothing more there, but I was surprised that he made so many mistakes. But he could be down because he said it himself. He didn't do any low fuel running in Bahrain, and I think he was just surprised. I think he expected maybe from the cars he ran last year that going from high fuel to low fuel, he has got a certain amount of more, more. He can carry more speed in the corners, and it didn't work because I think the car is not good, you know. So, but his expectation was like, I could do this on with a lot of fuel. So I just, this will be fine, and it didn't happen.
Williams looking strong. I mean, they had good quali pace. Then in the race, obviously Albon finishing in 5th. Sainz got spun out there, but they will seemingly both be strong week to week as a driver pairing. What do you make of this Williams team? Like, how good are they? What did Australia prove to you?
I think they are pretty good. I think they're in the moment pretty safe in P5 as a team. You know, they are behind the top 4, but they're in front of the rest. So and they've got 2 good drivers as a team. They've got also commercially good sponsors now on board. I think they're financed pretty well now as well. So I think they are good. I mean, can they challenge the top 4? Maybe not, but could there be a podium? With Sainz, you never know. The guy can pull it off. You know, if the opportunity arises, he would be one which takes the opportunity.
Oh, so you don't believe in an Albon-assance happening this season?
No, I believe in Albon. I always said Albon is very good, but Sainz is one of these guys which has done it before. He knows how to win races, and that is what will that for I think to get to the podium. I think he's better qualified because he has done it. So, but no, I believe in Albon as a driver pairing. I would put it as the 3rd strongest driver pairing this year.
Okay, who are the top 2?
The top is McLaren and Ferrari, them 2, and then is Williams as a driver pairing. Because Mercedes have got good drivers, but it's a rookie, and the rookie is a rookie. The same goes for Red Bull. They've got Max, which is number 1, but the other one is a rookie. So I go down that way.
And when you look at these, like, sort of more backmarker-y teams like Williams, Haas, Alpine, what do you think separates those teams? Like, what do you think makes Williams good with their limited infrastructure and Haas not good or Steak not good? Like, what do you think is the difference maker when you're similarly hampered by lack of resources?
Sometimes it's very difficult to explain what it is. I mean, but Williams has obviously over the last year they have invested a lot. They've done a lot of work to get better. They were struggling last year, especially in the beginning with everything. They got better. They worked hard. Now they have to keep it up. Last year, the surprise, the positive one, was Haas. I would say nobody expected anything, and in 2023 a good car was developed, and they were good. You know, in that there is so little difference between them. So if you do a good job, if you get a little bit lucky, if you've got good drivers, you can do that magic.
Mm-hmm.
All right, gents, let's get into Rockstar and Wanker of the week. Guenther, who is your Rockstar for Australia?
Lando. I think he did a good job. Difficult. Obviously, he's in the best car, but still, he brought it home. Got attacked by Max, the beast, at the end. didn't falter, so that will give him confidence for the rest of the season. Yeah.
Okay, and who is your wanker?
I would say Haas as a team, because where they were last year, from where they were last year to where they are now, I mean, it's like, we don't have to think half about it.
Yeah. Fair. Vankahs, I have to tell you about this game-changing product that I use before a night out with drinks. It's called pre-alcohol. Let's face it, after a night of drinks, I don't bounce back the next day like I used to. I have to make a choice. I can either have a great night or a great next day. That is until I found pre-alcohol. Let me tell you, if there's a surefire way to wake up feeling fresh after a night of drinking, it's with pre-alcohol. Z-Biotics pre-alcohol probiotic drink is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. Here is how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for your rough next day. Pre-alcohol produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. Just remember to make pre-alcohol your first drink of the night. Drink responsibly, and you'll feel your best tomorrow. I've used this product before. It really helps. Honestly, I needed it last night. I'm out of it. I'm ordering more right now. I'm not feeling my best today because I didn't use Z-Biotics. I should have, and I will not be making that mistake again. And this March Madness, don't let anything sideline your celebration. Grab pre-alcohol before you go out and be ready to cheer on your team all day and night long. Go to zbiotics.com/Vankah, Vankah, to learn more and get 15% off your first order when you use Vankah at checkout. Z-Biotics is backed by 100% money-back guarantee. If you're unsatisfied for any reason, they will refund your money, no questions asked. Remember to head to zbiotics.com/Vankah and use the code Vankah at checkout for 15% off. Guenther, you got a story time? Story time with Guenther? Any Australia stories from your past?
Yeah, tuck us in. Tell us a story.
Yeah, because I'm an old man, so I should have a lot of stories, Yes. So that's what you think. And you are the young kids. You want stories from the grandpa. Yeah,
that's right.
Well, it's like, well, our parents won't shut up telling us the same stories, and we're actually asking you for stories, and you're reluctant to tell us. It's like
so. I should consider myself lucky.
Yes,
that's right.
All right. Yeah, I remember once Australia. So I go for dinner with Mattia, which we normally, when we are in places like, we go for dinner one night if you're both free to go. So we went to this very nice restaurant in Melbourne, not Montreal, in Melbourne. And we had, we weren't drinking a lot. I mean, just a little, And
what are you drinking? What's your drink of choice?
Wine.
Just
we
had
wine.
White?
Yeah, we had wine.
White or white? White wine. What kind of wine do you like? What's your favorite white?
You a
Sancerre guy or a Pinot Grigio?
Yeah, a more dry one, more dry.
Okay.
Dry white. Yeah, I like white. I like dry, while red I like full-bodied. So anyway, we had some wine and we were drinking along, but nothing stupid. I was like, the driver takes me back. Matthias guy, which drives him, takes me back to my hotel. We get to my hotel, and I tell the guy, "This is not my hotel. You're at the wrong hotel, buddy." The guy says, "No, I picked you up here." I said, "No, this is not my hotel." So I was completely confused that I was in my hotel, and he thought I'm drunk, obviously, that I don't recognize. But I wasn't this drunk, so I realized it was my hotel. Went to sleep. Next day, went to the racetrack, and I wasn't feeling well. It felt like a big hangover, and I didn't have this much wine, So, and I didn't have a hangover for a while. I'm not drinking that I'm not young anymore, as you know. So
yeah,
right.
Get to the racetrack, and I'm completely confused and everything. It's like, whoa! I was like, wow, this is something strange. So you know what happened? I fell asleep on the desk before the race starts, sitting like this.
On the pit wall?
No, in the office, but I had to go on pit wall, so they were looking. Yeah. I was sitting there sleeping, So I went on pit wall, obviously. I got by, and then got back to the hotel, had a shower, and had to go straight to the airport. And Melbourne Airport is about 25 minutes from the hotel. I went back home, got back, went to bed, and slept. So I went to the doctor and actually had some infection. I had to take a lot of antibiotics afterwards, But it wasn't. And Matthias still tells me that I was so drunk that I didn't remember my hotel. But you get to your hotel and you start to argue because the driver was the guy which owned the Cinquecento. We did that filming with Mattia, and I know him very well. And I said, no, Simone, this is not my hotel. And he said, I picked you up here, And I said, no.
I'm sure it isn't, Guenther. Yeah, that's what they all say. I don't know. It sounds like I think that Mattia Binotto might have slipped something in your drink. That's what it sounds like to me. He's trying to get an advantage on you the next day at the race.
I was not a threat, so.
That's right. Punching down. Wow. That's great. Okay, let's go to some fan questions, and then we'll get our predictions for China, and then we'll be on our way. Okay, this is from Mikaboom. What's the minimum number of races a team should allow a rookie to prove themselves?
I don't think you can give it a number. I think because if you put a number on, the only thing you do, you put pressure up. You should give him as much time as he needs. If at some stage you see he will not cut it, you have to change it. But everybody's different, so I wouldn't put a number on. It's just like, hey, do the best, and if you see he's not good, and that I think that will happen especially when you have got 6 rookies like this year, that some of them will make it and some of them will not make it. Not all 6 will make it.
How deep into Mazepin did you realize?
Yep. That was a different story. I don't remember of my bad years, in life, of my worst years in life, because it was not only Mazepin's fault. The car was shit as well, So, yeah, right. we cannot just blame the poor guy,
Okay.
We didn't help him.
Okay. Speaking of your past, this is from Griff Edgy 07. What does the rich energy drink really taste like?
I think I had 2, or I tasted 2. I don't know if it tasted very similar to Red Bull.
Okay.
Was it Red Bull? I don't know.
But better.
Very similar. I'm not
produced.
Very similar. Very similar taste. And whoever tried it was like, what is this? This is Red Bull, So.
Right. And our last question, this is from Tim Hackney. Is a hot dog a sandwich? Why or why not?
A hot dog is a hot dog, huh?
But is it a sandwich?
No, it's a hot dog.
Well, it's a meat between buns, so you could argue that it is a sandwich.
It's a meat between bread. This is what people really want to know in the year 2025.
What is a hot dog? Yeah. But it's a hot dog. Anyway, it could be a hot dog or sandwich. But, Sammy, whatever you like it to be.
Okay. You're going to be thinking about this you're going to be having dreams about hot dogs and sandwiches.
Exactly.
All right.
What is it? Yeah.
Predictions. China. What do you think is happening?
McLaren.
Which
McLaren?
Damn it.
Which McLaren?
I go for Oscar Piastri.
Yes!
Do you think Lando's getting second place? Do you think they're doing 1-2s?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Matt, we said it on the other pod, but you want to make your prediction?
I say Oscar's going to come back strong. McLaren's going to be strong. Apparently, they're usually better on these purpose-built fast circuits, right? What's your analysis of a track like China? What do we got to know going into China?
It's a purpose-built track there, and the McLaren is good everywhere, but it's the first track we will see where really everybody stands. But even after Melbourne, we all know, I think it is. Melbourne is quite a track. It is a little bit special, you could call it, but now these days the cars, you can adapt them to all the racetracks. So I don't think there's a big. I think the thing will change maybe the distance between the cars, but nothing else.
All right, well, I think it's going to be a 1-2 McLaren as well, but I think it's going to be Lando Norris in first and Oscar Piastri in second.
You don't know what you're speaking about, but anyway, we know that. So.
I like it. Good. Tell me I'm wrong. That's the whole point of us being here.
Having your opinion.
This was Vankah Hours. Please subscribe. We're going to be coming to you every Wednesday after a race week. Subscribe right now. Click the button. Until next week, Vankahs. Goodbye.
Goodbye,
Bye,
Vankahs.
Wankers.